Yo, what's up my Destiny dudes? Got Fitness and Gaming coming at you with another Destiny 2 video. Now, this is going to be an ongoing series based around weekly, hopefully evidence-based, skill-based matchmaking experiences. Now, I say evidence-based. I don't think I can actually hold up in court with that because this is me talking about my personal experience. But I'm going to be as objective as possible, as evidence-based as possible, okay? I've got a couple of things for you guys today that I think you guys are enjoying. So the game that you're watching is me in a session of skill-based matchmaking and control. Bungie's calling it loose skill-based matchmaking. I don't really agree with that. It's pretty tightly wound from what I can tell. Everyone is within a very small percentage point of each other. That being said, there's three things we're going to cover today, and I'm going to try to give a bit of feedback off of other things that I've been watching. I have been watching everyone else's feedback on this as well, and hopefully we come to something of a middle ground so that both PvE players jumping into PvP can find some type of happiness with PvP, and the PvP sweatlords that are out there can start to enjoy the game mode that they love so very much without being, you know, called toxic or sweaty or something that is derogatory in nature. Alright, first thing I'm going over today, right? I've got personal feedback for you guys. I've got feedback from other people that have been also playing that are having their own experiences with it, and then I've got my closing thoughts. So, check it out. I've got some pros for you and some cons for you on my own personal feedback. One of the best things about skill-based matchmaking is that it has helped me play less lazy, meaning I take my corners more tactically. I've said this in my previous video. I've actually been utilizing more proper loadouts. My first week was horrible because I was trying to use Arc as a loadout in PvP, and I think, or at least I thought, that Arc was going to be one of these amazing subclasses to use in PvP. I was wrong, or maybe I'm not using it properly. I'm just more comfortable with the other ones, I guess. So I'm using Solar or I'm using Void because those are the subclasses that I'm better with. So this has helped me figure that out. I didn't get any headaches or anything about that because, you know, as my previous video discussed with mental toughness training, I go into these matches with a proper mindset. I know that I'm there to learn, I'm there to grow, and hopefully have a bunch of fun. It is a video game after all, right? So that's my first pro. It's helping me figure out which loadouts work best for me. Another one is that if there is a little bit more of a teamwork option for me to learn, I am learning it right now. So, best example I can give you, if there's a Slayer on my team, I get to play support. And I understand those roles, having played competitive FPS games for a while now. So it's fun for me to play the support role. You're seeing me do it in this match right here. The guy with the Laminarch bow and the guy that has the other pulse rifle. I'm following them and playing support. This guy right here, for example, both of them, I'm staying behind them at my proper range, trying to help them slay out, because we're now trying to capture the zone together. So this is something that's teaching me, and hopefully you guys, how to properly play as a teammate. That's really cool. You learn how to cover zones if you have to play the objective, not the objection, so that your teammates can slay out. That's awesome. I would rather play for you so that you can have an awesome time, and I will take care of those zones. Now, there's sometimes that it happens to be the other way when I've got 5 teammates sitting on a zone trying to cap it at the same time, no one pushing forward. That's when I get to go forward and try to cover the zone, right? So there's opportunity for me to learn in both these respects. Okay, those are my 2 pros from the last week or so of me playing this. Since it's going to go on all season, I should have a bunch of weeks of feedback for you guys. The cons, it still stinks, really stinks, to play as a solo player. Like, it is garbage to play as a solo. If you got a buddy to go in there with, it is such a better experience. To be able to talk to somebody and understand where they're going, why they're going there, who's there, how much health they have, if you can push, if you should fall back. You don't get that with playing as a solo. And these guys are going in here playing as stacked teams a lot of the time. That has lessened this week though, so I do think that there's some other pros to be thought of there. So con number 1, it does take a little bit of time to get used to playing as a solo. It still stinks to play as a solo. Con number 2, matchmaking times, as I get better with this game, go up. And that really stinks because there was one of these matches that took me, I think, 5 minutes to find a match. And as my skill improves, as my elo, or whatever you kids are calling it nowadays, is going up in rank, I've got longer matchmaking queues, sometimes up to 5 minutes. You know, I get a dedicated amount of time to play every day. I'm 40, I work full time, I do YouTube, I've got kids and a wife, and I got all these things to worry about, man. For me to dedicate an hour a day to this, that's a lot. For me to spend multiple times of 5-minute increments between 10-minute matches waiting, it's a waste of time. It's a disrespect to my time, okay? I would rather be able to get into a match more quickly so that I can just play and have some fun. But, again, for the greater good, other people that need to not play against me, for example, or guys of my caliber or similar, I do understand it. I'm really hoping that the guys that they got over from the epic, crossover with the Fortnite stick around. I don't know that they will. But anyway, I know they're trying to protect them. I get that. I understand from a corporate perspective where they're coming from with that. Alright, so time for feedback from other people. I do have a ton of feedback from guys in my YouTube channel, in my chat, in my Discord. A lot of these guys are in the disability column. They are in the literal 0.2 to 0.5 KD category because that's how they play. That's the game to them when they go into a connection-based lobby and they have to play someone like me is unfair. They're finally having the time of their lives. A buddy in the chat said he actually enjoyed Crucible to the point the other day that he didn't realize he had been playing for 3 hours. That's huge. That is what the Sweatlords feel when they play the game for that amount of time. They feel great about it. It's fun. It's unique to them. They get to try new loadouts and test things out. That right there almost makes the whole thing worth it to me. I love that type of feedback. Want you guys to have as much fun in PvP as I get to have. And that's an awesome thing, a bit of feedback. Now, I know the community is still pretty split on this. The guys that are going in there just to do their bounties and get out, it does feel as if you're getting some type of advantage your way. I don't know what to tell you besides that's fine. There's other parts of the game that we could farm together as PvPers that maybe we need to branch out that part of the game for us to get that same feeling. So to me, that feedback from other people, it still seems to be legit. We'll see if that holds up as we go further throughout this season. So final thoughts for this video. I think Bungie needs to implement a solo or freelance playlist because it genuinely stinks going there as a solo when you're playing against a team of 3 or 6, right? Or whatever it is. That's pretty awful. I think they can do something about that. I do think there's a misunderstanding from a lot of the PvE crowd when it comes down to the motivations, or whatever you want to call it, intrinsically, of what the PvPers actually want from all this. I don't believe a lot of them want to go around and pub stomp, but I do believe that a lot of them enjoy being good at that aspect of the game. They have their identity wrapped around the whole PvP aspect. Now, my thinking on this, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. D1, right? There was the PvP crowd that essentially held up Destiny. I'll say that again. PvP was the thing that held up Destiny for the endgame content because there were multiple droughts that happened in D1, way worse than what's happening in D2. So these are the guys that kept the game going. These are the guys that played Destiny 2 with the feedback that they could give and went 2 years in Destiny 2 as well, getting nothing, not even a map. And then they finally get things to go their way, they're finally getting new maps, the guns are finally being tuned for PvP, and now Bungie slaps them with skill-based matchmaking and they can't have fun in the thing that they've been desperately waiting to have some actual fun with. Meanwhile, the PvE crowd gets everything they asked for from Papa Bungie. So that's a lot of their points of view. They've been waiting for their time to finally have what they want from PvP, from the game that they love so much. And now, they don't get to have that. It feels like another thing has been ripped from them to give to the PvE crowd. That is a legitimate feeling. I get that. Not a lot of them have the same type of mentality about this video game that I do, where I'm really just in this thing to have some fun. Whether I don't control what Bungie does. Whatever they do, whatever they don't do, I'm going to have to adapt either way as a player of this game. I don't really voice my feedback on their forums or anything like that. I'm just here to play. But, they feel good enough that they want to voice these things. Okay, that's great, man. That is what they're feeling. I'm not trying to represent them, but I do want you to know that it is coming from a legitimate place of concern. And it does feel like a genuine feeling of unfairness. Okay. Those are my thoughts. Those are my solutions for now, meaning, you need to make sure that hopefully one day they get a freelance or a solo playlist. That'd be awesome. If you guys got any questions, any feedback you want to put in the comments section, how are you enjoying skill-based matchmaking so far? What do you guys think? Is it the best time of your life, or is it the worst time of your life, or somewhere in between? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys got any questions, I'm happy to reach out, happy to talk to you. Remember to keep it zen out there, my dudes. Love all of you.